And we are live.
Woohoo! And welcome to episode 57 of TLC Tech Learn Coffee. We are now powered by Q. I am your host, Lisa Nowakowski, and I'm a fifth grade teacher in South Monterey County here in California.
And I'm Nancy Minicoatesy, an instructional tech coach in Northwest LA County, also in California. Just a quick reminder about our 15-minute format. We aren't any longer because ain't nobody got time for more than that.
No, they don't. And so here is today's coffee fact. I know you've been waiting for this, Tammy. Did you know that you don't have to use tech? You don't have to use tech to be innovative. That's what we celebrate. And you don't have to be artistic to create great coffee art either. So we found these coffee stencils on Amazon for less than $5. So you can decorate your cappuccino with 16 different shapes, including a smiley face, love hearts, and even a panda. Aww. So no shipping charges if you're an Amazon Prime member, and we're going to give you the link to that as well. So tonight's guest is Tammy Lind, who will be talking to us about creating makers with elementary students. So Tammy, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Hi, my name's Tammy Lind. I'm a coach in the South Milwaukee School District in Wisconsin, just south of Milwaukee. And I work kindergarten through 8th grade, and then a little bit at the high school level, but mostly K-8. And I have the greatest job. I get to use technology all day, every day with kids and teachers. So it's a lot of fun.
I love that. I love when people say they have the greatest job. You can tell that they're so passionate about what they do.
I do. I love it.
That's great. So you're going to be talking to us tonight about a classroom-based makerspace or a classroom-based maker. So makerspace is a really great concept, but it varies by levels and is oftentimes, to access the resources. So how do classroom-based makers differ from what we think of as, a traditional makerspace?
Sure. No, one of the things that we really focused on with ours was trying to get that mindset. I really believe that makers, it's just a mindset. It's a creative and innovative mindset that you should have and that kids should have. And so what we tried to do is not make it a place, so a maker room or in the library or, make it a specific place. We wanted it to be available to kids all day, every day in their classroom. And that is not to disparage spaces or library makers. It's just at the time that we did it, we didn't have one. And so we were in the position where we needed to create our own. And that's really how we started. It's literally in our classrooms. We just started with 2nd grade. We had 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade maker areas in classrooms. And the neat part about it is we oftentimes will see it carry over into what the kids are doing with their teachers. As an example, in math class, we had kids give a little shout out in the middle. I learned about that in my maker project. And so that was part of the fun that, that we get to see. We see that carryover. And then that's part of our belief, in having that mindset really permeate the culture of a classroom.
That's really great. I love that it's a mindset because it can be, and we have a makerspace at my school. So, and I love it and we use it. But yeah, it can be one of those things that it's another room. So it's a special time. Whereas when it's in the classroom, it's more accessible to the teachers and to the kids. And it sounds like you can incorporate it a lot easier.
Absolutely. And it's definitely not for everybody because it can be very messy, as you know. But we really found that we were able to get to that mindset quicker by just having it accessible to them whenever they wanted. Essentially anytime that the teacher can build that in, they have it.
That's great. We do have a teacher at my school who started hers a couple years ago, and she just has it in the corner. She calls it Creative Corner.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be maker. It doesn't have to be, whatever it's called. It's that mindset of just giving kids that space and time.
So did you get this going throughout your district, and how did you get it started? You talked about the mindset and getting it going. So how did you get it going?
Sure. So I have a job where I work in all of our classrooms. We're a pretty small district. We're about 3,500. And so when Maker first started, kind of getting on everybody's radar, this was, I believe, about 3.5, 4 years ago. I heard about it and I read a little bit about it and I thought, I'm going to go to the teachers that I know. First of all, I know will try it and do their best try to make it work. And second, will tell me, Tammy, you're nuts. There's no way this can work in a classroom. They would be very honest and open and honest with me. And so I went to 8 teachers in my district and said, hey, there's this thing called Maker. This is what it is. If I can, find some professional development for you and start you down that path, would you be willing to try it? And they did. And we spent our first year, we met every month. They spent time in the summer on professional development, and then we met every month. And I supported them in any way that I possibly could, whether it's I came and got to play with them, brought people in that could work with them. And that's what we did. And I'll tell you, I don't know that they could do it any other way now. And that has grown. It's grown now into other buildings. It's grown down to other grade levels. That was in 4th and 5th that it really started. And then it's down now to 2nd and 3rd. But that's really how we got started. And for teachers that aren't, I get a lot of questions on, I'm not really okay with that cardboard all over my classroom or wood or whatever it is. For those teachers, we pushed forward with design challenges. So we make those a little bit more structured and a little less messy, but still allowing kids that innovative, creative time and space.
That's great. So you really kind of helped to tailor it to the teachers' needs and what they were wanting to do and what they felt comfortable with. I love that. And just starting with 8 teachers and how it's grown, that must have been awesome to watch that grow.
It is, because we didn't know. I mean, we had no idea.
So did that then, watching those 8 teachers, did they then inspire other teachers?
Yep, absolutely. And that's kind of how it grew. It grew up and it grew down. And one of the things we do want to do move toward is getting our K1 and 2 kids more involved in that process. And so I'm starting to work in fall with K and 1. Honestly, kindergarten really is a makerspace. I mean, if you really look at, when I talk to a lot of kindergarten teachers, when we talk about Maker, a lot of times they say, yeah, we do that. We give kids that time and space to do that. And so what we've been trying to do is figure out how to push more of the design mindset down into K and 1. It's a little bit more difficult because you want to put some time and space to it, or time and shape to it. But sometimes with the littles, time and shape to a project or to that kind of classroom time is really hard for them.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're really focusing a lot, not just on the whole idea of Makerspace, but also that design aspect of it too, and incorporating it.
Yeah, and just having that mindset in the class. That's really the key. That's the bottom line of everything that we do, is having that mindset.
And that is so important. And it's so great to hear that so many of your teachers are inspiring others and leading the way. I love when that happens. So what considerations should we have when designing a classroom-based makerspace? Do you have teachers that our listeners could reach out to and connect with if they have questions?
Absolutely. You guys publish show notes, right?
Yes.
I did a poster session at ISTE on this topic, and the teachers that I work with gave me a ton of resources. One of the biggest things is called a giving tree, and that's just how they get their materials. They have a giving tree up on their wall, and they have apples with the materials that they need, and parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles take those off and donate materials. And that's just one sample of what's in that document. So I'll leave that for the show notes. If anyone is interested in talking to any of the teachers, I'm happy to put them in contact. I didn't put their contact information on the document because I didn't want them to get 800 emails from from people. So I was kind of hoping to make that handshake for them. So I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, and we will have all of that information, your contact information, as well as the ISTE poster session that you gave us the access to. We'll put all of that in our show notes so that anybody who has any questions can go ahead and get a hold of you. So is there anything else that you would like to add to, this excitement of the maker in the room?
One of the things that I get asked a lot is what about for the kids that aren't in those classes? So I have a fifth grade, teacher that maybe doesn't want to do either design or maker. And what we did was we worked with the elementary library media specialists, and we created some more innovative station work for those kids, so that even kids that weren't in classes where teachers ventured down that maker idea, the kids would still have that same opportunity. So I would really encourage you, if you're just starting, to really make sure that your teachers, your go-getter teachers that are going to do it, make sure that you have plans for the kids that may not be in those classes, so they get those similar opportunities and experiences.
That's a really good suggestion. Yeah, because we don't want anybody to feel left out and things like that. So are there any other considerations that we should have when designing our own classroom based makerspace?
Well, space is a big one. You do that in storage. I think any of my teachers would tell you storage that's a big deal. Because a lot of times, I have teachers that do from 30 minutes a week up to 2.5 hours a week. And the 30-minute-a-week projects oftentimes don't get completed. And so there has to be storage area for that. There has to be a place to keep those projects that are being completed. The document also from the poster gives a whole list of things that my classroom teachers would really recommend starting out with. There's a whole list of supplies and ideas that they're going to want to think about when starting. Safety goggles would be a good one. Safety goggles are big. That's a big one.
That's great. Well, I appreciate that. I'm sure our listeners will also appreciate that too. Yeah, so we just have a couple of minutes left. So is there anything else that you wanted to share, wrap up?
You know what? If anyone wants to, I have videos. I'm happy to, if they want to reach out, I'm happy to share those or put anybody in contact. Just one little piece of advice. A lot of kids by 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, they're not really used to being allowed that creative time. So you might get a lot of toilet paper roll projects. You might get a lot of, marble run projects. And so you kind of want to be prepared to have those conversations about what creativity and innovation really means and what that can look like. And I would recommend taking a look into the document as well, because we have kind of that continuum of what you'll see from kids. You get a lot of excitement, and then you kind of level out. And then you have a lot of excitement, and then you level out. So, don't expect it to take off the minute that you start. Just be patient and push, your kids. Push where you can push.
Yes, patience is a key, I think. So do you recommend challenges for the kids, or how does that work for you?
It really depends on it depends on the kids and on the teachers. I wouldn't recommend too many challenges, because we tried not to put too much shape to the project. Sorry, I'm moving here. We didn't want to put too much shape to some of the projects, because we wanted to give kids all of that time and space. But your kids. If you need to provide shape and context for them, that's what you do,
All right. Well, that was our timer. So you have 1 minute to wrap it up.
All right. 1 minute to wrap it up. No pressure. Do it. I got to tell you, just try it. You're not going to regret it. Just give yourself that time and space to get frustrated. Give yourself that time and space to know that you need to reach out for help. And just try it and celebrate success and celebrate failure with kids, and do it with the kids. Take something. We have kids cooking, we have kids sewing, we have kids doing woodwork. Try it with them. Try something that you're interested in, and let them see you attempt and fail.
And that is important to kind of do it alongside with them. So we thank you so much, and we thank everybody for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a comment to let us know. Tonight's comment question is: what is your favorite thing to do in a makerspace? We've all had them, we've all seen them. We may not have labeled them as makerspace, but we've all been there. So what is your favorite thing to do? And please join us on Monday, August 6th, when our guest will be Judy Blakeney, talking to us about strength-based learning.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to subscribe to hear more about easy ways for you to innovate in your classroom. If you like the show, and of course you do, please rate and leave a review on iTunes so people can find us. Remember, we're always looking for guests to share the great things they're doing in their classrooms. So if you know someone who fits the bill, or if you'd like to be a guest yourself, please visit tlc.ninja and complete the contact form to let us know. Thanks for listening.